More problems on the mean value theorem worksheet. This is 4.2. And again, this is the mean value theorem worksheet. And our function is sine of x, and we're on this closed interval closed interval 0 to pi. So here's what the sine of x looks like, and you can see that it's definitely continuous on the closed interval, and it's differentiable on the open interval. But we will check it first. So let's just say it looks like it's continuous. So there's not much else we can say. It's defined for all the values. So we'd have to say that f of x is continuous on the closed interval. And f prime of x, what does f prime of x equals? F prime of x equals the cosine of x, and you can see over here is the cosine of x, this is the sine of x, and the cosine of x is also defined on this closed interval from 0 to pi. So I could say that f prime is, or f of x is differentiable on the closed interval, on the open interval. Okay, so it has to be continuous on the closed interval and differentiable on the open interval. So therefore the mean value theorem applies. So therefore there exists some c that belongs to that open interval 0 to pi such that f prime of c equals f of b minus f of a all over b minus a, which is the average rate of change of the slope of the secant line. Okay, so what's f of b? So what's the sine of 0? The sine of pi. What's the sine of pi? Well, the sine of pi is 0, isn't it? And the sine of 0 is 0. All over pi minus 0, which is just 0 over pi, which is just 0. And f prime of c, well, the derivative is a cosine, so that's just going to be the cosine of c. So the cosine of what value in this open interval is 0? Well, if we look at the open interval, the cosine, this is the cosine, so between 0 and pi, between 0 and pi, between 0 and pi, the cosine is 0 at pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 equals 0. So c equals pi over 2. That's what you've got. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Because pi over 2 does belong to this open interval. 0 pi. And that's what we're looking for, the open interval. Okay, number 4. Take a look at number 4. F of x equals the absolute value of x minus 3. And this is on the interval on 0, 6. And we know this is continuous, but this is our good old absolute value function. And this is going to be shifted 3 units to the right. That's why you have to know these parent functions. So this is going to be shifted 3 units to the right. It's going to look something like this. And what happens at 3 when x is 3? Looks like we have a corner, right? is y equals the absolute value of x minus 3. And right over here 3 we have a corner, so we know that's not differentiable. So we say it's not, f of x is not on the open interval 0 to 6. Therefore, the mean value theorem does not apply. Okay? Because we have a corner there right at 3. Now, if this interval was 3 to 6, if this interval was 3 to 6, it would be okay because we're just worried about the open interval. So that was 3 to 6. 3's not in the open interval, so that would be okay. It would apply. So you have to be careful with these little nuances. Okay? So that makes sense.